Yeah, what's up guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Underdog Lord, this Underdog Views, and I watched The Naked Gun from 2025 with Liam with Liam Neeson and Pamela Anderson. Yeah, it was definitely a funny movie. Pamela Anderson really looked different, than, well, I've seen her in pictures, but I haven't seen her move, as in, I haven't seen anything that she's in or something like, whatever, I only seen pictures from Google or from her, or on Facebook, some video coming by, but never moving, The last time that I've seen her was in Barbed Wire, and that was before I started the channel. So, yeah. She two totally different appearances. Obviously because currently, she doesn't have, as far as I know, any plastic in her anymore. Well, as in, no fake tits anymore and fake shizzle, Maybe some Botox, who knows, and if you want to take Botox, on that age, do what you want, but, personally, I'm not into plastic surgery, I into fake shit, Oh, I want to take a nose job, or I want to take that job, I want to take that job, If it's necessary, medically necessary, totally different story. But just, you want a BBL, you want bigger tits, No, I don't want fake tits, fake ass, no, just give me natural, Okay, if you want to poop reduction because it hurts your back so much, sure, but it that it's not putting stuff in you, it's taking stuff out of you, so it's kind of different, so, but I don't take plastic surgery obviously myself, so I'm the most ugly that I've always been. So let's just start with this movie, because I'm just rambling on. We're low to the ground, and there's a lot of things happening outside apparently. We see gas. You see, maybe it's tear gas, whatever gas. Just the kind of a canister that is giving off gas, And we see people panic, just panic. Then we see a guy being dragged off by two other people, and we see one of the robbers jumping on the counter, then kicking something over, shooting in the air, and we then see we're looking up now at the boss, basically, but we're kind of blinded by the light. But he's walking forward, and then we finally see him. He keeps walking forward. The camera is keeping backing up, obviously. And then we get the side shot of him walking the through the bank. He goes behind the pillar, and then we transition to him, coming across the corner, not across, coming around the corner, and then walking into the vault. And there we see maybe 5 or 6 others, already doing their shit. And he comes in and then puts us back on there. I don't know what happens exactly after that, but a bit later we see kind of a Girl Scout. Just jumping. And we see the police officers, that's all outside, you're just looking for what the fuck is she doing, maybe also yelling, don't go in, don't go in, or whatever. And then, she goes in, and one of the robbers, he looks around, turns around, and then sees her, and takes off his mask and says something, and then I think she says something, and then takes off her mask, and then she starts to grow because it's Frank. Well, Frank Drebin Jr., played by Liam Neeson. But he's still in that outfit, so he has a short skirt. Liam Neeson is in a short skirt. And then, surprisingly, but which did surprise me, we had some, actual hand-to-hand combat action, like what you usually get like in Taken or something like that, which kind of surprised me actually for a Naked Gun movie. But then the humor started to come in, like you grabbed the gun, and pulverized it, and you threw it away, and another points it in the face, and then he bit it off, and started eating it, so the humor started to come in, but that and there was once that I actually laughed out loud in that movie, because I find it funny, but it's these movies really don't make me laugh out loud, where he was also fighting hand-to-hand combat with one of the robbers, and then it transformed into a handshake. And I don't know why, but for some reason it made me laugh. That was maybe the best scene of the beginning of the movie. We had also a Frosty the Snowman killer scene in this movie, where he was we don't see her name. Wait, maybe if I go. Beth. Beth played by Pamela Anderson. And Frank, Liam Neeson. They made a snowman, and then they took out a book with spells in something, basically with spells, magic and shit, you know, incarnations. Um, and you know, the snowman came to life, and then they start to have a threesome with the snowman, and then eventually, you know, they Frank and Bev went on their own, you know, and put the snowman bit aside, you know, and then the snowman became jealous, and then the killer scene, you know, the snowman killer scene came. So that was also pretty funny. At the end of the movie, when the credits start to roll, you know, everything froze, and then, of course, Bev and Frank start to move on. What's going on around us, you know, what the hell is going on, you know, and then also liquor, you know, when it's poured in, you know, also touching it, you know, we see the droplets, you know, go to the side, and screams of a wake up. So that was also pretty funny. And obviously Weird Al Yankovic was again in this movie. He was in, I think, every Naked Gun movie except for the second one, maybe. Or I just haven't, you know, I just didn't see him, you know. But otherwise, he played in every Naked Gun movie, which I fucking love, you know. But back to the credits, they usually you get some music, you know, and there was a certain part in the credits where it was Liam Neeson singing, you know, just a song from I Love You Beth or something like that, which, yeah, I also didn't expect, you know, to hear Liam Neeson sing. I don't say it was good singing, but you know, it did surprise me. Yeah, overall, it's definitely not as good as the original Naked Gun. Well, okay, the first movie that I found with that's called Naked Gun is a Western movie, so yeah, but the spoof Naked Gun, sure, that we all know with with not Liam Neeson, but Leslie Nielsen. Um, it deserves a 5 out of 5. It definitely deserves a 5 out of 5, but personally, I might give a high for low 5. You know, it's just it was different. It was definitely different. So you know, but it's not bad different. You know, just different. Yeah, I think I'll give it a 5 out of 5. Yeah, just because, you know, it's part of the Naked Gun franchise, so you know it also deserves a 5 out of 5. Um, just go watch the movie yourself. It's definitely worth it. Leave likes, recommend good Liam Neeson movie down below in the comment section. Subscribe to the channel, check out my second channel, the Keys for the Food Streams every week from 10 to 10 months and alcohol. On my third channel, Underdog Reacts, where I do primarily music, link down below in the description. And see you guys later for Mission Impossible Rogue Nation, aka Mission Impossible 5. Yeah. Bye.